Okay, so now we're going to look at how you can actually put text on a certain path. So I'm going to click on my layer here, make sure that this is selected, and then I have my pen tool up here selected. And then I'm going to draw out and create a mask like this, like that, and then I'll just draw it out so that it goes out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this text layer, open up the text, and then under path options, I have this right here that I can select. I'm going to select mask 1, which is the mask that we just created. Now notice that my text is on my mask path. And you can adjust your text here, so if you want it to be smaller like this, and you could spread it out, the tracking. And if you want to lower it on the line a little bit, you would adjust your baseline. So right here, like that. Cool. Now down here we have a few options. So this first one we have is called the reverse path. Look what would happen if I would select it. So since I drew my path right here, After Effects has now reversed it so that the text starts over here where my path ended. So that's how the reverse path works. And now notice that it is on the opposite side as well. So you can flip it and you reverse where it starts. I'm going to set that back. We also have perpendicular path. Notice how the text is now aligned on this path here. I'm going to turn it off. Now notice that the text is actually vertical. And if I move this over by adjusting the first margin, you see the text is completely vertical. So that's what perpendicular to path means. When you have it on, it bends with the path. When you have it off, it is simply vertical. And I'm going to push this back right here. And we're going to look at the force alignment next. So if I turn this guy on, what it has done is that it has spread my text all along my path like this. And the reason it's not on the end here is because my first margin is set to 87. So if I set this to 0, now notice that it is on the end here. And if I wanted to change where it ended, all I would have to do is simply pull this back and you can adjust where the text ends. Now, one thing to notice too when you are using this first and last margin is that if you turn it off and your text is actually justified like mine is right here, one of these is not going to work. So I can move the first margin, but the last one does not work. So if you want the force alignment off, but you still want to use both of these, you need to make sure that your text is actually centered. And now notice that the force alignment is off, but I can move the end and I can move the beginning. All right, so let's say we wanted to do a simple animation. How could we do this? Well, you could turn on your force alignment like this, and then you could bring this back right about there so that it's really bunched up. Put a keyframe, go forward in time a little bit. You could spread it out to something like this, right? And then go forward a little bit more, and then just drag it out like that. And then on your first margin right here, we'll put a keyframe. We'll drag this up a little bit to something like that. And then we'll put a keyframe, just dragging it all the way out. So if I play it back now, I have this. Very simple animation, but I think you guys get the idea, and you can play around with this more if you want to. So that is how the text path works, and I hope that you will give it a try, and we will see you on the next tutorial. Until next time.